welcome back to the Shell podcast here at WeBank Live. We just had a wonderful conversation with one of our major suppliers. I'll call her a major supplier, Lori Davis with Rig Chem out of Louisiana. And, I'm not sure exactly how we found Lori or how she found us, but chances are we found her through her at work in and with either a diversity council or a women's business council. And so we're really pleased this segment to be joined by two of our friends and really peers, because these two folks really are the leaders in their space, and companies like Shell really need them. So I'll quit building them up and just introduce to you. We've got Ms. Karen Box, the president and CEO of the Southwest Minority Supplier Development Council. Welcome, Karen.
For having me.
Awesome. And then we've got the always dapper Dick Hebner, the president and CEO of the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council. Welcome, Dick.
Thank you, Brian.
Well, you guys, I know you know the Shell team. You know a lot of folks within Shell, so I think you're very comfortable in joining us here today. But I'm hoping that even in that comfort, that we really dig down in a couple subjects for our audience to really help them think differently, maybe by some of the wisdom and the experiences that you have and the work that you're doing, leading the two organizations that you're doing. Can we try and maybe get that out of the way? I think people need to hear some things that they go, what? Yeah. So we're going to try and do that here. But let's first start off by really just taking a moment to share who you are and what do you do, and maybe describe your organization in a kind of a summary way.
Sure.
Yeah, Karen?
As the president and CEO of the Southwest Minority Supplier Development Council, which we are an affiliate of the National Minority Supplier Development Council, and we really, in a nutshell, we want to assist our corporate members diversify their supply chain. We want to help grow minority businesses in such a way that it is impactful both for the local community and for those individuals that they hire when it comes to minority business and awards and contracts. So we really are committed to making certain that there's a connection. We certify, so we have that gold standard certification, and advocate, all that good stuff.
So someone says Southwest, right? I'm thinking Arizona. I'm thinking. What's your reach for your organization, and maybe a few stats of who you represent?
Sure. We have been actually expanded. We went through a consolidation a couple of years ago, and in 2014 we started off with the southwest part of Texas, then the state of Oklahoma, and then the state of New Mexico.
Okay.
So we have a large territory. And of course, we certify about 600 odd MBEs, and we're just looking to expand and to bring on more MBEs that can really service our corporate members. So we're always looking out for those who have that special criteria.
Hunger. That's what we want the suppliers to be hungry, and we as organizations need to be hungry for growth, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Karen. All right, Dick. How about your council?
Sure. So the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council organization of about 600 minority-owned businesses, 168 major corporations, share a common mission to increase and expand business opportunities and business growth for minority-owned firms. Our metrics of success are our minority businesses growing in sales and employment, and our corporations spending more money with those minority businesses. So we'll sink or swim based on those metrics. We're principally known as a certification agency, but really we are a supplier development organization. And both from a corporate standpoint, helping corporations like Shell understand how best to pursue effective supplier development, and for minority businesses, how to really position yourself for success in an ever-changing marketplace. So I've been doing this for 30 years. Over those years, I've seen constant changes in business process, business priority, and what has led me to believe is that you have to always be looking for that next change and be prepared for it and to capitalize on it. Because if you don't, your competitors will.
Right. Yeah. Share the same sentiment?
I agree wholeheartedly.
That's awesome. So we're talking about minority business enterprises, right?
Right.
That's what moves your organization. That's what you are focused on helping find them, certify them, build them, develop them. Also, they can serve the corporations and the communities that they're in, right? So we find ourselves sitting here at WBEs, which is the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. If an average listener's out there, why would you be here?
Well, there are women that are minority businesses. So that's an important population for us in our council.
Okay.
Right now, currently, I guess about 20% of our certified MBEs are women. So I really have an interest, a focus on going out and really sharing tools of why it's important. One, for the certification and the connections, the development. As Dick said, we're a development agency. So we want to develop our businesses in such a way that they reach that scalability and the capacity to do any project globally or even nationally if asked. Our MBEs and WBEs are positioned to be competitively advantaged for our clients. So there's one misbelief is it's more expensive to do business with minority women. That's not the case. More likely they are really more competitive than a natural incumbent because they're hungry for the business. They want to show who they are. They want to demonstrate their skills, abilities, their quality, cost, and excellence.
I'm going to come back and ask you a question based on what Karen just said, and it's really around what are some of the misconceptions around the work that you do or the work that we're trying to impact here. But I want to ask you, I want to stick back to the WBEs side and the women part of your stakeholders. And how does an organization like WBEs help you in your mission?
Okay, so I think we share a lot of common interests, but not just our women minority-owned businesses, also the corporations that are trying to achieve objectives on both sides. I think sort of spiritually, philosophically, we know that minority businesses are underrepresented in the marketplace, and that's not healthy for America. We also know that women-owned businesses are underrepresented in the marketplace, and so it's not about competition as much as it is about collaboration, working together to ensure that everybody can win in a marketplace that really the future of which really depends on all of us winning.
Wonderful. Couldn't agree with you more. This whole collaboration. These two were part of a Shell initiative that we learned from our Workforce Development Initiative team, where we brought in all of our partner organizations, those that either run the organization or run important programs within those organizations, and really said we've got to bring these groups together to really, one, get to know each other. As you can see here, it's quite evidence that they attend each other's events. But do you have that time where you get to sit down with your colleagues that are all helping women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses build and develop and grow? And so there was a great opportunity to really sit down with all of our partner organizations and have us just spend a day and a half learning about each other, about our mission, and then the outcome was, and the output was to really develop, be intentional about collaboration.
That's
right? So I love the fact that you're using that collaboration word and action in the work that you do just to deliver what you need to deliver, because it is an expectation of our corporation, and I'm certain it's an expectation of other corporations. Dig deeper a little bit on maybe a couple more misconceptions of supplier diversity that's happening out in the space here. What are some of those things that are just kind of just out there, you just go, wow?
Okay, so I'll start with one. And that's that that supplier diversity is opportunity focused. Just give me the opportunity, I'll show you what I can do. Basically what I see on the horizon is a diminishing of opportunities. It's not opportunity based. It used to be, when I first started this, that it was, okay, find me some minority businesses and let's let them compete. And so I'd receive requests on a regular basis saying, send me a list of minority businesses that we can include in our bids. Frankly, corporations don't use bids anymore. And so the goal at that time was to get on the bid list, right? Now you can get on real easily. If I ask you to get on your bid list, you say, yeah, you're on. And I walk away saying, oh, hallelujah, this stuff's really working. Not knowing that you aren't using the doggone bid list, right? And because things have really changed. And as we look to a market in the future, I predict fewer RFPs, RFQs, much more looking to the minority businesses or our suppliers overall for key leadership, not just good pricing, for innovation. And so there's some real opportunities that have emerged in this new marketplace. Unfortunately, due to misconceptions, the minority firms are still lining up to try to find an opportunity to compete. And unless they're making their own opportunities and really adjusting to what a new marketplace opportunities and demands are, then we're going to be left behind. So one, we have to recognize change. Two, we can't be, we have to realize that the success that others have achieved, the path that they followed to achieve that success, typically will not work for companies today. And so in the past I'd say, well, I'm not too smart. If I want to be successful, I'll just do what successful people do.
Right.
Unfortunately, if I look at those successful people and where they are today, that path, same path won't lead me there today.
And Karen, anything to add?
Real quickly, often, I know in the past, and I'm hoping it's better now, there was a misconception about minority businesses and women-owned businesses not being able to do quality work. That was, and then qualified MBEs. So what does that mean, qualified? It takes on a different meaning for so many different people. But minority and women-owned businesses, they're quality businesses that can produce goods and services for any industry. Now, let's say there's a mistake that's happened with the minority business. And of course, you want to give them the ability to correct.
To correct it, right.
And sometimes, all the minority businesses or women-owned businesses are kicked out after that or don't want to do business. But how often does a non-minority have an accident, miss out, don't deliver on time?
So you're saying that it's business, so treat businesses like businesses and help them through those situations.
Because they don't just readily kick them out. They work through it.
Treat them and require them to be business folks, and then their minority second. Well, thank you. We're wrapping this up here, I believe. Already, it seems how time flies. But I would ask you, if you can, in one word, perhaps, and maybe it's 2 words or 3, but if you had to say, what has to change about supplier diversity based on how it's done today in order to help you reach your goals 10 years from now, 15 years from now? What would you say? And we'll wrap up with that.
What would have to change? I would hope that the executive leadership in America understand that we really need their leadership in this realm. Years ago, and I've been on this for a long time. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's it. No, go ahead.
We would ask
this is good stuff.
Our corporate execs to tie their managers' bonuses to their goals and their evaluations.
Wonderful.
And if they don't meet their numbers, don't give them a bonus.
Boom.
That's really
called business.
Absolutely. That's just one thing I want.
Thank you, Karen. Dick, what would you say?
Yeah, so my 2 words would be get real.
Get real.
So let's quit playing around. Let's look at the impact we're trying to achieve, and let's be very deliberate and innovative on how we're going to get there. I really salute Shell for your get the right or find the right fit program, where you're putting it on the responsibility of the supplier to say, show us where you fit in.
Love it.
And if we see that fit, we will work with you, we will develop you, and we will enjoy each other's success. So it's not supplier diversity, it's supplier development.
Well, see, you've heard it now from two of our wonderful leaders that really have the toughest jobs sometimes, but they look like they enjoy it so much.
Love it.
And it's really about developing not only today's suppliers, but tomorrow's suppliers. So I want to thank Karen Box from the Southwest Minority Supplier Development Council and Dick Hebner from the Houston Minority Supplier Development Council, two great partners of Shell. And we look forward to continuing this progress together and getting real and helping people find their fit and getting corporate leaders to put their money where their mouth is. There you go. Well, thank you. We'll be back in a few moments.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Karen.